Welcome to another episode of Ron Tomkins Plays Chess. In this episode, we have a very special game. This is a game that I played against David Pakman. David Pakman is the host of the David Pakman Show, which is a political commentary show, which you should all check out. It's a very engaging show. Here I was trying one of my crazy openings. C4, and if E5, then E4. I played C4. He did not play E5. He played Knight to F6. Knight to C3, G6, E4, Bishop to G7, Bishop to D3, D6, Knight to F3, castles. And here is where I meant to castle. However, I mouse slipped. Ah, yes, the mouse slip. We're all familiar with that one, aren't we? It's when your mouse slips. The game continued. C5, Bishop to C2, Bishop to G4, pinning the knight. D3, Knight to C6, Queen to E2, E5. King to E1, trying to find a better square for the king in the midst of this unexpected situation. H5, Bishop to D1, Knight to D4, attacking the knight, which is pinned. So you don't want to capture the knight with your knight, or else your queen will get attacked. That being said, I am an idiot. So I captured the knight, and he captured my queen. The game continued. Bishop captures, pawn captures on D4. Knight to D5, knight takes, pawn takes, queen to A5 check, blocks with bishop, queen to B5, B3, A6, F3, queen to E8, king to F2, queen to E7. Rook to F1, queen to H4, check. G3, mistake, because now he can capture an H2. But thankfully he did not. Queen to D8, bishop to C1, F5. E takes on F5, and G takes on F5. F4 with the intention of capturing with the bishop if he captures, which he did. Now my bishop has a nice diagonal, and he has some isolated pawns. I have a chance to even capture that pawn on H5, but in the midst of the game, I did not see it. And when rook to E8, I did bishop to F3. Queen to E7, rook from A to E1, queen to F6, king to G2. Rook takes an E1, rook takes an E1, queen to D8, rook to E6. This is what they call a rook lift. I'm going to tell you exactly what my plan was. My plan was to move the rook to G6, pinning the bishop, and then finding a way to attack the bishop, putting pressure on that bishop. Queen to C7, bishop takes. Where are you going, David? You cannot capture that bishop because I am defending it with the rook. But I gotta be honest, I was nervous. I was fighting David Pakman, a guy who I truly admire. I saw that coming. Queen to C2 check. King to H3. Queen captures pawn on A2. Fair enough. I continued with my plan. Rook to G6. Queen to F2. I then proceeded to capture that pawn that I've been wanting to capture for a while. King to H7. The plot thickens. Bishop to H4. Rook to H8. Alarm. Now there's a threat of a discovered check. This is the point where time was running short, and I decided to sack the rook. Capture in G7. King captures. Oh, here's an opportunity. I check, and if he doesn't move the king near the rook, then I can win a rook. That was not the case, however. d6, queen to e3, d7, queen to g5, bishop to f3, queen to h6, check, king to g2, queen to d6. Of course, he's gonna take the pawn. But I figured, okay, I'll queen, you take it, I take that pawn. She attacks the bishop, of course. I take the other pawn. And I won on time. After the game was over, David left the chat. I wish I had a chance to thank him for the game. So let me do that now. David, thank you for the game. I've been wanting to play you for a while, ever since I found out that you love chess as much as I do, and we are basically two rookies who happen to love the game and we want to learn as much as we can. Chances are you and I will never meet. You will continue doing your show, I will continue doing mine. You probably won't come on my show. I definitely won't be invited to yours. But I get it. You and I, David, we come from different worlds. And today, those two worlds met for a brief moment and exchanged some pieces on the chessboard. And now you go back to your world, and I go back to mine. Take care, David. We need more people like you. Oh, and thank you for not taking the pawn on h2 after I play g3. Anyway, that's all, folks. This is Ron Tomkins. I will see you on the next Ron Tomkins Plays Chess.